Hello everybody and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video, and today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusive Mystique. Here we have Mystique in the front window, we get the X-Men name Mystique there, we get an X logo at the top, no Build-A-Figure affiliation with this figure. We do have some artwork here on both sides, it's the same thing, and then once again on the back. There are no other figures listed for this wave because, again, this is a standalone exclusive, but we do have the read-up here at the top. An expert of duplication and duplicity, Mystique uses powers of shape-shifting to assume others' identities and complete covert missions. And down here at the bottom, you do have the UPC code, so you can check with your local Walgreens to see if they have this in stock. But enough about that, let's get this open and take a look at Mystique. And here is Mystique outside of her packaging, and a very good looking figure, and Hasbro has just been knocking it out of the park with these X-Men figures. This is the only Mystique figure that I have, and it is just very comic accurate for how I remember her looking, and I think that is just awesome. Hasbro has really dialed it in and is giving a lot of us fans really what we want with some of these figures. Speaking of which, we do get some really cool accessories with this figure. We get some extra head sculpts to create a Lilandra figure, which we'll take a look at that. And then we get a head sculpt for Rogue, which we'll take a look, which is sort of a mid-transformation, which is really cool. When standing straight up, Mystique is coming in at about 6 1/8 inches tall, which puts her at about 15.5 centimeters. Since she is an exclusive, she doesn't come with any sort of Build-A-Figure or anything like that. So let's get a better look at those accessories, and then we'll get a better look at Mystique. And taking a look at the weapons that we get with Mystique. So we've seen these before. In fact, I want to say this rifle was the one that came with the Shield Agent or the Nick Fury and probably some other stuff. But you have this little removable drum that you can put in there, and you even got some of the sculpted bullets there. And yeah, I mean, it looks good. I never cared for this one too much just because, I don't know, I guess you could say this one doesn't have too much of a sci-fi feel. And that it could be grounded in a little bit more of a reality. And then we do get this pistol that we've seen a few times. I'm not a fan of this pistol. I really wish we got something that looked more modern. This very much reminds me of just like the classic Luger, but I'm not sure if that's what it is designed around, but I don't know. But it does fit in just fine to her trigger finger there. And that goes for both weapons. They do just fit in just fine, and they look fine. So, but we do also get a alternate head sculpt that I showed here with Rogue. So let's get that on the Rogue body and see what that looks like. And then we have the Lilandra head sculpt, which we'll get a better look at that too, because I actually went and picked up, just for this, a extra Silver Sable so that I can have a Lilandra. So let's see what Lilandra looks like on Silver Sable's body, what that Rogue head looks like on Rogue's body, and then we'll get a better look at Mystique. And starting first with the Lilandra head sculpt that we get with Mystique, we can see a really well done sculpt in all honesty. It looks like the eyes might be painted a little, well, maybe not. I thought they might be painted a little too high, but it looks like that might just be the eyelids below. Yeah, but very cool makeup on there, and I like the look and design of the helmet. I've mentioned before how I like that we're getting where the helmet is a separate piece that's being glued on, so it doesn't look like it's one piece that then we have, you know, paint defects and things like that. I like that a lot, and it's a pretty basic head sculpt though when you look at it. You just got some line shapes and such. And then just so you can see what it looks like, this is on the Silver Sable body, so you can see it actually matches quite nicely. I think most of this stuff is going to come off, like this harness and these leg pieces, for it to match, maybe even the belt. But yeah, it still looks really good. I like that, and I think it's really cool that Hasbro gave us basically an extra figure if we wanted to, if we have it lying around. Now, looking at the Morphine Rogue head sculpt, so this is the same design that we got with the actual Rogue figure. You can see that we just get a different paint on here, and actually you can see it's a little bit sloppier on the top, so there's not as much of the white hair. We just get a little bit of it there. And mine, unfortunately, we can see, yeah, some paint defects there. But otherwise, I mean, it is cool looking to get this sort of mid-change version. We get the gold eyes, though, for both eyes. And then the really weird thing, I don't like that we get a flesh tone ear. I suppose you could argue that that part has already changed, but it's very off looking to me. So that's kind of a downer. But this is nothing new. It's just a repaint, and just to kind of see what it looks like on the full Rogue figure. Yeah, pretty cool looking. Now to get to actually Mystique here, so we can see a really cool head sculpt, and I like it. Just sort of a basic expression of just sort of disgust or aggression that we're getting there. So the furrowed brow, the clenched teeth, I like it. It looks good. Skull on her forehead looks good, and actually the paint on it came out good. Paint on the eyes isn't too bad. Paint around the mouth isn't too bad. Looks like she's got a little marbling on her cheek there though. But then looking at the hair, so we get a deeper red tone or a brighter red tone down to a deeper red tone at the bottom, which is really cool looking. I do like that. And then the line work here, not too bad on the arms. And I don't recall ever seeing too many ports. Did Silver Sable have a port? Yeah, I guess she did have a port back there. I don't think I've noticed the port on a lot of these. We get a little different shade, and it might be really hard to pick up, but I'm noticing a different, not necessarily a shade, but just sort of the sheen of the plastic used for the top and then the torso there on the figure. But yeah, that's nothing too bad. And then the belt, all the skulls, not too shabby coming around with the paint there. And then we can see we have the blue going up, and then that drape just coming down, and yeah, not much more going on with that. So looks pretty good. Looking at articulation, so you have a head that can go side to side without any issues, can bury her chin quite a ways, can look up. Oh, well, okay, it just pops off. So she doesn't look up too far. Yeah, boy, I'm just clumsy all over. There we go. Doesn't look up too far, though the hair is going to hinder that. We do have arms that can go up. That's about as much as I feel like it wants to go. There's a little bit of pressure there. You do have full rotation, though. We have a single jointed hinge there at the elbow with rotation at the elbow. And then we do have a hinge and rotation at the wrist. This one, we have the flexion and extension form of hinge. And then on this one, we have the ulnar and radial deviation hinge. Yes, I looked up the real terms. And then we have a diaphragm joint here. Not a ton of movement. We get more movement going back than we do going forward. And you get a little bit of pivot side to side, but yeah, not a ton going on there. Legs don't come apart hardly at all. Kick forward about that far, back that far. Upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, and then we do have a hinge and ankle pivot. And real quick, just for a quick comparison, here we have Mystique standing next to the standard Rogue without the morphine head on there. And then, of course, we have the Silver Sable body with the Lilandra head sculpt on there. And that about does it for this review, everyone. And overall, I was very excited to get this figure, and it was really, really well done. I like the head sculpt and the hair and everything like that. I mean, there are the usual female body sculpt complaints. For example, no double jointed elbows. But for the most part, this was a well-done figure and well-executed. And I figured since I had the extra Silver Sable, that meant I had some extra guns. So I wanted to see what Mystique looked like with those extra weapons as opposed to her gold weapons. And I gotta say, I'm probably gonna have her using the extra Silver Sable weapons because, I don't know, the gold for the weapons just kind of throws me off. I'm not a big fan of it. And yeah, I think this looks better. But anyway, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the figure. Make sure to hit that like button if you like this video. Subscribe for more content just like this. And aside from that, thanks for watching my video and have a great day.